Good morning, Peachy Peeps. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. And it's a beautiful day. The sunshine is peeping through the trees, and the temperature feels like it's going to be, really nice today. It's going to get up in the low 60s. It's going to feel good. I'm super excited about it. So I hope to be able to get out and do some walking, a little bit later today. So let me just start with I hope it's an amazing day for you already. And when you're here live, make sure you say hello in the comments. And if you have not given StreamYard permission to see your contact information, then make sure you tell me who you are. And if you go back and watch any of these videos, the replay in the subject or whatever the heck it is at the top, there is a place that has a link for you to go and give permission to have your name seen, and then you don't have to remember to do it. It will just pop up and say who you are. And there are a few people that have already done that, so it's really cool when their name pops up. But like I said, you can go and look in the comments of any of the videos that I've done for the morning affirmations, and the link should be there for you to go ahead and give permission to be seen. This is another way to make sure that you are being seen, right? Instead of kind of sitting in the back, we want to know who you are so that we can have a conversation with you, celebrate things that you say. Because what happens a lot of times is there's a few people that maybe don't have their name up there. And so when it says Facebook user, then the next time something is said, I don't know if it's another person or if it's the original person that had spoken. And so I don't really know the thread of thought. And I would love to be able to look and see. Now I can go back into the Facebook group later and I can look and see, but it would be great to see right here, right now, as you make conversation. And you have to excuse me. It's been just warm enough that we're already having a lot of blooming and allergies. And I'm just looking, my hair looks a little wonky right there, but hey, it'll just have to be wonky because I can't do anything about it right now. And I will say, when I get up in the morning, sometimes I have this really, this little, because this right here is shorter. So I'll have this little spot that's just kind of sticking up. And for those that are older might know who alfalfa is. And it kind of looks like alfalfa. But water, gel, all that stuff really, really will fix that. Let me have a sip of my tea. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the affirmation. All right, so today's affirmation is, I am worthy of my dreams and pursue them with courage. And I really love that this is the one that popped up for today, because yesterday we talked a little bit about, some of our dreams. And good morning, Donna. And I don't even remember who it was, but there was one person that said that they would really like to have a nice big house and all these things, but they didn't want to have to clean it. And so they had all these things about the reason why they didn't want to have what they wanted. And so I had said, if it's your dream, dream it the way you want it. Don't dream it the way you think it might go. And there's no harm in a dream, right? And the thing that we really have to affirm within us is that whatever dream we have, that we are worthy of that dream, and we can pursue them with courage. Because let's face it, if we have a dream that seems beyond what we can do at this very moment, that can feel a little scary. And also, it can kind of feel like a little in your face, like, well, I don't know who you think you are, that you think you can do that, when all these people that they haven't been able to done it. You haven't been able to do it so far. And we get all that chatter in our minds that monkey brain that I talked about in the Three Brains workshop. But that monkey brain steps in a lot of times. And it's like one of the things that I like to say, it's like the monkey brain is for, and I know I age myself all the time, but you know how old I am. But anyway, when I was young, there was a commercial that was around all the time. And I don't even remember what it was advertising, to be honest with you. But it had a picture of, it had like a little devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder. And they would have conversations about, well, if you do this, it's going to be great. And then the devil would say, well, if you do that, what if? And this conversation would go on. And that's what we do most of the time when it comes to our dreams and what we really want in our life. And one of the things that I had mentioned yesterday too is to make sure that the dream that you want is what you want and not what somebody else is showing the world that seems so amazing. And you think, oh, well, that's what I'll do then. But maybe that's not really your dream. And like I had shared was that I want a house that's bigger so that I can expand with my business and have people here and all these different things. But I don't want one of those McMansions that has 7 bedrooms and 10, 15 bathrooms, whatever it is. There are some really big things that are that way. And, I don't want all of that. I don't need, and it's not a need thing, but I don't want all of that because to me, if I'm going to do that, I'd rather have a separate space that I have like a lot of rooms, and that is where I do retreats. And that would be amazing too. But for my home where I live all the time, let me back up. I had an uncle that was that was wealthy, and he's since passed away, but he was my mentor. I loved this man. He really helped me and guided me and was there to talk to me anytime I needed. And we talked about business. We talked about so many things. And he had, at one point, he had this huge house and it was gorgeous. Now, he usually had a huge house, but it was gorgeous, yet it was so big, and it was only he and his wife. And he had there were several different floors. They had an elevator. They had all of these things. But to me, it didn't feel like a home. It didn't have that warmth to it and all those things. And I don't know if it was because it had a lot of marble in it. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was just that it was so big and it had the most magnificent furniture. It was decorated amazingly. It had this huge courtyard in the back with all this stuff. And I mean, it was beautiful, and it could probably be something that was in a magazine, but it just didn't feel homey, and then they had a house after that was big, but not quite as big. And maybe it was a little bit of the marble, because I remember when I went into the other house, the next house, and it was big, but it wasn't quite as big. It didn't have an elevator, but it had a lot of wood, and it was just warmer and more comfortable, but it was still more than what I would want in my space. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because, that was what they wanted. And so they created that. And I was thinking this morning too, because, I'm all about the words that we speak and how powerful they are, right? And I know, Donna, you know how powerful words are. And I remember one time, and like I said, he was a very wealthy man, and he had come over it was one of the holidays or something. I don't even remember. And we were standing and talking, and he was talking about this trip that they were going to be taking. And I said, oh, that sounds amazing. I would love to do something like that. And he just looked at me flat out and he said, then why don't you? And at that moment, it was like, what do you mean? Why don't I? I don't have millions of dollars. I don't have, and I had this list of reasons why within my head, because I didn't say them out loud, of why I couldn't do it. And the more I learn about all of this stuff, the power of our words and our thoughts and how we dream, the more I realize that maybe if I had changed my inner dialogue, maybe I would have been able to go on that trip, because there was nothing in my inner dialogue that allowed that to happen. It was all constrictive and excuses and reasons why I could not. And so I invite you, if you're dreaming, to dream and think of reasons why you can, why it's important to you, and know that you are worthy of whatever that dream may be, and you can make it happen. We may not know exactly how it happens, but the best thing you can do when you're dreaming, and I don't know what the journal prompt is for this, so I may be saying it. I have no idea, because I haven't copied it out of the thing yet. But if you can get in touch with what that's going to feel like as you step into that reality of your dream, and really get in touch with the feeling of elation, the feeling of joy and excitement, and not to it's not for anybody else or anybody else's feelings. It's for what is yours. What is your feeling about this? And as you get in touch with that feeling of this coming to fruition in your life, then it'll be so much easier to get back into that place and dream. So, because if you've got a dream that seems so far outside of the scope of what you can do right now, like I said, it can be daunting. It can feel very hard. And so we want to recognize that it can produce challenges, but if you're pursuing those dreams with courage and you know what it is that you want and you can feel it, what it feels like to be there, then whatever those challenges are that come up, you're going to recognize them as growth opportunities that are going to take you straight to those dreams. And then you're not looking at things as, this is hard. How can I make this work? This is hard. And we tend to say those things over and over again. And I know that because, like I said, when my uncle said that to me, my first thoughts were, I'm not a millionaire. I can't just say, I'm going to do that and do it. There's more to it than that for me. And I've got this thing that I'm doing over here, and I've got this obligation over here, and I've got this. And so I could go through this litany of list of things that were preventing it, right? And so I'm inviting you to look at it in a different lens so that you're not doing the same thing that I did then. And I do fall into that, prey to that every now and then now, because like my life's not completely perfect and nobody's is. And so even people that have a lot of money and everything, it may not be the money that stops them, but it's something else. And so let's use um, our our thoughts and our feelings to produce even better dreams. And like who is it? I can't remember there, but there's a book called 10X, something like that. I'll look it up and I'll share it. But and it is 10X is easier than, I don't know, but I will look it up and I will share it. But anyway, it's that if you have a dream, you're capable. God has given you the ability to create a bigger dream than what you're dreaming. So 10X, whatever it is, and have that as your vision. And whoa, the first time I did that, I had this process that I went through, and it was writing down what your monetary dream was, right? And so I went through and I was putting all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they said, okay, now 10X that. And that is actually your goal. And it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine 10 times what I just said because that seemed crazy. However, when you're dreaming and when you're creating, and pursuing, you have the ability to reach exactly that. We just don't give ourselves permission. We look at things through the lens that we are in right now, and that really is kind of like, what is it, the thing where the frogs are in a pot? Do you remember the thing about the frogs in the pot? And you may not, but anyway, you put a bunch of frogs in the pot and they could jump out of the pot anytime they choose. And then they put water in there. And now I know this sounds very morbid, but this is an analogy, right? You put water in the pot and you put it on the stove and you just turn it up just slightly. Those frogs will get comfortable in that warmth of the water and all that stuff. And even though they may want to leap out of this pot for freedom, they become so comfortable where they are that they can actually just cook right there. And like I said, I think it's a really a morbid thing, but the truth of the matter is that we can jump out of the pot that we're in right now, but we get so comfortable with where things are. Even though it may not be where we want to be, we become comfortable in that misery or that whatever is going on. It's what we know. And so we end up staying in that place to where it gets to the point where we don't have a dream, a life, or anything. And so I encourage you to look at this and say, I am worthy of my dreams and I pursue them with courage. Jump out of that pot, jump out of that box, and start looking at things with a bigger picture. And whatever your dream is, 10x it. And it's kind of like the old saying, if you reach for the moon and you don't reach it, you've at least landed among the stars. So just think, let's say your goal was $100,000. And instead you said, okay, I'm going to be a millionaire. If you didn't reach that million and you only reached 900,000, are you going to be upset? I don't think so. So reach high. And even if you don't get exactly there, where you're going to reach is so much further ahead of you than where you would have if you had stayed with these smaller dreams. That's all I'm saying, is that dream big. All right, so let's see what the journal prompt is. Give me just a second for me to pull this up. All right, so today's journal prompt is describe a dream you're pursuing and the steps you're taking to achieve it. So I said, look at your dream and whatever that dream is, 10x it. And then what steps can you take to achieve that? And it's like we do things incrementally. So today, your only task would be to write out your dream. And then what's one thing you can do to move the needle to get there? So for instance, let's say your dream is to travel the world, okay? Or your dream was to travel to Europe. And so you 10x'd it and it's to travel the world. So what is the one thing that you could do today would be you could look and see travel agencies, figure out who they are, interview some travel agencies and see who would be the best travel agent for you. You don't have to commit to a damn thing, but it's actually moving the needle toward that trip, right? Toward that dream of traveling the world. And so if you decided that 10xing that was your dream, is traveling the world, if you traveled all over the world and you missed one place, are you going to be upset? I don't think so. So look at what those dreams are, 10x them, and then figure out one thing that you can do today. And maybe if you haven't been traveling and this is one of your dreams, look at suitcases, buy a suitcase that would work for your trip. There are so many things that you could do that start looking at different places in the world and where do you want to go first? Just do one thing today that implies to your subconscious mind that this is going to happen and this is my first step. So, what will that step be? All right. So let me see. I don't know if you're still there, Donna, and or if anybody else is here. Make sure you say hello, and that if you're not where your name shows up, make sure you let me know who you are, and let me know. Are you ready to 10x your dream? Are you ready to dream? I know a lot of times we're in places where dreaming just seems like, oh, and like I think I was talking about it yesterday. I had a time in my life where it seemed like my dreams were so friggin' far away from where I was that sometimes I just wanted to be okay with what I had and not dream for more because it seemed so far away and it seemed so hard that it really had me in judgment of me to where it was like, well, I have all these dreams, I have all these aspirations, I haven't reached them, I haven't even, and it is, that can be a really terrible place to be. And it was for me. So if that's where you are, you don't have to have this travel the world. Maybe you want to travel in the United States. And so you just, say, I'm going to travel to every state in the union, maybe. So only what is your dream now and how you can 10x it. Now, I would love for you to share in the group when you do your peachy vibes, your hashtag peachy vibes, and when you share your self-care. Maybe part of your self-care today is to get closer to understanding and knowing what your dream actually is. So I would love to hear your dreams for your life. And you never know. The thing that is really cool is that when you announce what these dreams are, then that says also to God, the universe, your subconscious mind, I'm going to make this happen. And then you never know who might have a similar dream, and you might partner up and say, hey, let's do this together. Let's figure this out together. Or maybe somebody might know somebody that could help you reach that dream. So by going into the group and sharing today, my self-care is my dream of, and write out what your dream is. And if you want to, you could even share. And the first step I'm going to take is this. And just be present, be there in the group where we are connecting and we're growing. And for those that are not part of this group, the Make Lasting Change group, it is such a powerful group, and the energy and the vibration, and we are really helping one another. It is such a great group to be in. All you have to do is go to vickypoole.com, which is VICKIEPOOLE.com. And the reason I spell it is because when the subtitles pop up, they don't spell it correctly. So for some reason, everybody spells Vicky differently, according to them. So I want to make sure that you can actually get to it. So VICKIEPOOLE.com will take you to the group page where you ask to be a member, and it's going to ask you some questions. And I do ask that you answer those questions to be entered into the group, because I want to make sure that this is a safe space for everybody. And when you go through and you answer those questions, it lets me know that you really want to be there. And if you want to be there and will participate, then I want you there too. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let that be it for today. But remember, I almost forgot. I cannot believe I almost forgot. So when you are looking at your affirmation, let me get back to it. The affirmation is, I am worthy of my dreams and pursue them with courage. I want you to write that on your mirror with your chalk markers like I do, and I'm going to be sharing that in just a little bit. And then you can also put it on a sticky note, put it on your index card, make it the screensaver on your phone, whatever you can do to have this affirmation in front of you as often as possible. And because believe it or not, these affirmations do change your life if you have them where you can see them and you talk about them, right? And then when we get to the journal prompt, describe a dream you're pursuing and the steps you're taking to achieve it. I want you to get out your journal because I know some people have journals especially for this. Write it in your journal. Answer it in the journal. If you don't have a journal, write it on a piece of paper. Put it in a folder, because the activity of writing it out actually changes how things work in your brain and how much you can get out of your thoughts and your heart. And so do your dream. Describe a dream you're pursuing and steps you're taking to achieve it. Share a picture of that in the group, or get in the group and share a live video. Make a little post, whatever you want to do that it works for you, but make sure you're in the group, because every single time you share these things in the group, it helps someone else, but it exponentially helps you. And that's what we want. My goal for this group is to help each and every one of you reach your potential of who you are and who you choose to be, because we make the choice. Wherever it is that we are, it's all the choices that we've made. And if you don't like where your life is right now, it's time to make a different choice. And that's what I'm helping you to do. All right. And if anybody needs a little bit more one-on-one support with this, because I'm a board certified hypnotherapist, a hypnotist, and what I do is I help people that it may take 6 months or a year doing this to really see the result that you're looking for. And sometimes it can take longer. It depends on what that dream is. But using hypnosis, I help you to condense the time that it takes to reach that goal. And if that is something that really resonates with you, if you would like to oomph and reach those goals, because maybe it's just right now you just want to be a motivational speaker. And right now you're not speaking anywhere. Maybe, there are so many things that hypnosis can change the trajectory of where you are to where you want to be, and really make that time frame shorter. And so, like I said, if that's something that you're interested in getting information about, just reach out to me. You can post in the comments, I want more information, or private message me, whatever you want to do. And I will definitely have a conversation with you, and we can see how hypnosis could help you to get your 10x quicker. All right. So you have a super blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday. Wow, the week has just flown by. All right, so tomorrow I will see you again at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and be there. Mwah.